by a modern terracing wall. In antiquity, there was a terracing wall, but not in 79. On the northern side of the property is a small courtyard surrounded by 5 rooms, and to the east, a covered room with several smaller spaces opening off of it. On the southern facade are 3 large shops, as well as a bar at the southeastern corner. Today I'd like to focus on the area of the building to the east. This is a room that we call E7, originally exposed, excuse me, my slide has gotten a little bit confused, but if you can read that, originally exposed in the 1950s in Maiori's work, south of Villa Madanza. It was cleaned to the 79 level by Drs. Napo and Simone in 1992. As they were working in this area, they found a very unusual deposit. This was, and I apologize that my photo is not the best, but this was a dark humic layer, very organic in its immediate composition, that looked much like a wooden pavement made out of wooden slabs placed over a letuto. We returned to this area last year in the summer of 2023, fully exposing it and exploring it over the past year with a team of environmental archaeologists led by Dr. Mark Robinson of Oxford University. We found first that this was not a deposit of wood. Instead, these were reeds, the stems of common reed, the Phragmites australis, which appeared at first glance to have been stacked in space. What these were doing here became clear as we continued excavating in the northern part of the building. Here in the central courtyard of the northern suite, we found a large basin, perfect for the soaking stages that are necessary for working reeds as well as branches. This suggests that the building was functioning in 79 as a workshop for basketry and mat making, most likely functioning alongside a previously known basketry workshop that was found just to the north in the 1990s at entrance 2 of Insula 114. In order to better understand the organic deposit, we took several samples in 2023 to do a micro-excavation, an XRF analysis, and a microbiological analysis of the material in order to best understand it prior to undertaking any excavation. The micro-excavation showed that this was a once massive deposit of reed stems that had been highly compressed down to a certainly much smaller volume than it had once been. Micro-excavation also showed there was almost nothing else within these reeds. They had almost no leaves, but a few flowers, which will become important later. XRF analysis showed that the deposit was 70% silica, about 30% organic. Most likely, it was preserved via a movement mobilization of silica, either from the phyllus within the stems of the reeds themselves, or from the overlying pili, which caused most of the deposits to become silica and allowed it to be preserved over the 2,000 years since the eruption of Vesuvius. The excavation that we undertook this past summer set out to better understand this deposit and to clarify the results of the micro-excavation. We divided the complex into 1 by 1 meter squares in order to capture any variation within it. We found very quickly that troweling tended to obscure its details, so instead we removed the material in blocks. You can see those in the bucket on the screen and also in the photo, which we then pried apart using plasters, leaf trowel, and other fine tools in order to spot any anomalies within this reed stem deposit. We found that the deposit was, as I said before, highly compressed. We're still working out precisely how large this would have been originally, but over 2 meters in height. What we're looking at here is the volume of the deposit that we removed, which was about 1¼ meters cubed, but the original deposit's volume might have been more like 36 meters cubed. So this was a room that was absolutely full of reeds at the time of the eruption. Again, we found that these were stems only, with very few leaves, but a bit of evidence for flowers. The deposit was incredibly Italian, the Chileno di San Antonio. Love it, very weird. And this, otherwise, there was absolutely nothing in there. The floor of the room below the reeds, however, was quite dirty. It had not been cleaned prior to the insertion of the reeds. There was a loose deposit of charcoal spread across it, as well as various refuse, especially along the southern wall and the southeastern corner of the room. So what does this all mean? To keep things very brief, though more will be coming and is on its way, we can be sure that these reeds were not harvested prior to late autumn. There is a very strong seasonality